Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to OneMinuteTennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about how to use ground reaction force and the kinetic chain to create more power in your ground strokes. And I want to show you why traditional methods of coaching the ground strokes are actually fundamentally flawed. Now, ground reaction force is the force we get when we push up from the ground. And these forces create a kinetic chain. Kinetic chains will only work in one of two directions. They will work from the ground up, or they will work from the body out. It cannot work in, and it cannot work down. And yet, when we look at tennis coaching, when we look at advice on the strokes, almost all the advice is on what to do with the upper body. But surely the technique needs to come from the ground up if the energy is going to come from the ground up. So let's begin by looking at the unit turn. And traditional way of teaching the unit turn is that we rotate the body, the arm to 90 degrees, the shoulders to 45 degrees, but the legs have done almost nothing. Whereas if we actually make the movement, now we don't want to turn from the body because all we've done now is turn and there's no separation of the upper and lower body. But if I think about turning this foot this way, so I turn. And now what's happened is the movement of the upper body has been created from the lower body. It's totally unnatural for me to turn like that and stay here. It's actually uncomfortable. So if I make the unit turn by turning from here, I now am creating a natural use of ground reaction force and a natural kinetic chain because I'm making the technique from the ground up. When I make the movement from the ground up, it's totally unnatural to swing just with the upper body. And so I naturally get easy and effortless power. It's the same on the backhand. If I just turn into the stroke from here, as nearly all the lessons emphasize, this is where you want to be, this is where the left hand is, this is where the right hand is, but there's no kinetic chain because the second movement is from the lower body and now I have no power. But if I turn my left hand, it doesn't matter if it's one-handed or two-handed backhand, if I turn my left foot away from the court, then now naturally the movement is coming from the ground up. And when the movement comes from the ground up, you have a natural kinetic chain and a natural use of ground reaction force. It'd be interesting for you to experiment with which movements you can actually create yourself from the ground up. But quite simply, in the forehand, pointing the right foot away will give you that position naturally. And in the backhand, pointing the left foot away at 90 degrees to where you want to drive the ball to will give you the correct beginning of the kinetic chain and therefore the use of ground reaction force. This really is a fantastic way to use these fundamental forces that are really powerful and energize your stroke. Let me know how this works. If you like my ideas, check out our books on Amazon. We've got books on every part of the game, and in the books we break down the strokes into the scientific details and then super simple solutions with great illustrations. They're a real teaching experience and learning experience. Or join people in over 30 countries all over the world that I'm helping with online coaching. It is a truly unique service. We sometimes do video analysis, but it's much more personalized with one-to-one online meetings on a regular basis. So use ground reaction force, use the kinetic chain, build your strokes from the ground up instead of from the top down, and you'll get a much more powerful and much easier movement in all of your strokes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.